Hi everybody, this is the host, aka Host 1.
And the co-host, aka Host 2 here. Just a few quick words before we jump into the episode.
If you're a new listener, here's how the show works. We typically will spend about 5% of the episode at the beginning and the end talking about a motivational related topic, and then the other 95% of the episode is a ton of comedy in between.
We'd appreciate it if you could please like, subscribe, and share the show with other people. Feel free to leave us a comment wherever you're listening or send an email to facetodaypodcast@gmail.com.
Now, back to the episode. And we're back once again. This is the host and the co-host, the most co-hosts. And, real quick before my co-host jumps in here, we were going to have some guests on this episode, quite specifically guest 1 and possibly guest 2. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it due to some, stuff that came up. But we're going to get them on the next episode, episode 8. This is episode 7. 7. We're here for episode 7. We have to be a little more quiet because we're recording out of a different studio this time. Location cannot be disclosed due to we don't want to get shot.
We don't want to get shot. We don't want to get killed. Hey, everybody, we're back for the next episode.
We're back once again, and just a quick reminder, the way that this podcast and show works is that we don't plan any of this or go over anything beforehand. These are all just things that we've jotted down along the way, and then we start the episode and we jump right in and ask questions, and my co-host has not seen any of this before. I have not read over any of this in the last, I have no idea what I'm about to read. It's just all stuff that is written down from the past, and then my co-host jumps in and gives him his thoughts, and then I give my thoughts.
Yep, that's right, co-host. Everything here is off the cuff, and just to remind you, I'm hearing everything for the first time, so we apologize for any filler words or any bullshit that you hear, but we are we're doing a lot of processing when we listen, and we're bringing it to you live.
Yeah, and we truly, just before we jump in once again, the roots of this podcast were based around facing the day, and
Yes.
It's just all about lifting yourself up and being tougher throughout the day, and it'll all make sense one day. And
where there's a woods,
there's a way. That really is still the theme. We want to bring positivity. We want to uplift you, and we hope that you get some enjoyment out of this, and it does, in one way or another, help you to face that day.
Yes, and we hope that you've listened to the other episodes and you know that there is a path. There's a golden path.
There's a golden road.
A golden road for each and every one of us that we have to find as individuals and as humanity. So without further ado, we're going to jump right in. My co-host, who comes up with these amazing ideas, these really life-changing, the more you think about it, topics. And we're going to dive right in and let you know our thoughts.
All right, so the first question, co-host... How is Roger Goodell somehow in attendance at every single NFL game?
Wow, he really is. He's always there.
At the same time.
He's in a box every game.
How?
What the fuck? I don't know.
He clearly he has his own private jet. We get that, but still, how is he in attendance every game? Every single game somehow seems to show him on TV, clapping and
simultaneously.
Conveniently sitting next to a person of color or sitting next to a minority of some sorts.
Of course.
He's never just sitting next to another rich white guy, but it's always a picture moment for him.
Always a picture moment.
But he's in Tennessee at the same time he's in Texas, at the same time he's in California. It makes no sense. I don't get it.
You know what? The only thing that comes to mind is he might be a hologram.
He could be.
Is he a real... Has anybody actually met Roger? Is he a real human? Or is he a cyborg or some a clone?
I don't know.
We don't know. How does he do it?
But if anyone in the NFL is listening to this and knows, we would appreciate them letting us know. And that leads into my next question here. Do people still get goosebumps?
Oh, goosebumps. Like the little bumps on your arm.
What happened to them? I don't know if it was just from growing up and being a youngster and, thinking it was cool to feel the goosebumps, but I feel like no one talks about that anymore.
Yes.
When was the last time you got goosebumps?
Well, you know what? Never. Except a few days ago when I took a whirlpool or a steamer, and then I got in the shower, took a cold shower or something. Then I got a weird goosebump, but it wasn't a natural goosebump.
You got a goosebump?
Yeah, I got one goosebump. But
I haven't gotten goosebumps in so long. Actually, it's a little cold in the studio at the moment.
Oh, it's a little
You're
cold.
A little cold.
It's a little cold. We got a couple windows open, and where we
Yeah.
are, it's a little negative below.
It's a negative below there. Maybe you have goosebumps.
He always think he's got some goosebumps.
What happened to R.L. Stine?
R.L. That's
Yeah.
of course. Thinking about the books and the
Was
show.
he a Jew?
Was he a Jew?
He's one of those guys that you don't know. There's one of those last names like Stein or like Klein, and you don't know if it's German or Jewish.
You don't know.
And,
You don't know.
There's many of it. I don't know. He could be a nice Jewish man, a nice German man, but he probably has goosebumps.
He probably has goosebumps.
Yeah.
The author of Goosebumps has goosebumps.
Yes. Goosebumps, such an interesting topic, and something we're gonna have to get back to down the road because we want to hear from our listeners if anyone else gets goosebumps. But we have to jump to something else, and it's involving LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, LinkedIn. And my question for you, co-host: people who write early or ex-Uber and similar things in their profiles, in their taglines, do you have any thoughts on that?
So it says ex-Uber.
People that make it very clear that they're ex or early certain companies in their profiles, in their taglines. Do you find it to be strategic on their part, or just annoying, or just narcissistic? What do you think?
Well, I think it's all of those. I think it is. I think it probably is bit strategic and makes sense for maybe 10 companies total, right? There's only 10 companies you'd put ex-employee of. And they're massive, prestigious companies.
How about this? How about the fakeness of people when someone writes that they were laid off or something negative happened in their work life, and people start commenting, "So sorry to hear," or like, "You're a rock star. I'm sure you'll land on your feet somewhere else," or blah blah blah. Do you find this to be that it's helping LinkedIn, ruining LinkedIn? Any thoughts?
Well, let me hear your thoughts here. I'm not so sure I have an opinion on this one.
I personally think it's really corny. If it'd be nice if people had a little more like explanation, or just like they put some more thought into what they were posting instead of just writing the same thing as every other person. It's the same thing when someone gets hired somewhere. It's this X company found a good one. All right, X companies is lucky for hiring this person, or wow, you're on to great things in your career. It's just everyone is just, it's robotic is the right term. I think it's no one can just say something creative, or just everyone has to look good. Everyone has to appear like they're on, just being that A+ student kind of, just like
plus.
Like cheer up, you'll be good, or rock star, that's you, or
it's
very just so inauthentic.
It's inauthentic. It's very cliche. It's very disingenuous. All the above. Totally agree, co-host. Totally agree. You have every right to feel that way.
And then another topic about LinkedIn that I was thinking of is what I've seen a lot recently, and maybe probably more so in the past year or so than ever before. But someone will go on a 5-paragraph rant, a post, absolutely just propelling the company they work for and saying such good things, saying how much they love their teammates, love the company. The culture is amazing. Just like they've been there for 4 or 5+ years. It's such the best place to work.
Wow.
Last paragraph with 2 lines says, "With that being said, I'd like to announce that I'm leaving X company for this company."
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yes, we've talked about this before. Just last 2, very.
Not in the podcast. I don't
talk about. No, not in the pod. Off air. Offline. Offline. Yeah, off air.
In it.
But to what you're saying, why do they wait till those last 2 sentences? Why not just get to the point? It just shows
because
the demonstrative and performative aspect of LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is not real. It's fabricated reality.
It is
people. It's not people being their true authentic selves. It's people being, it's people's resume self.
Yeah, the resume self.
But it's not real life, and it's the same thing as Instagram. It's the same thing as a lot of other social media. No one posts the bad stuff in their life. No one posts when they're feeling down. No one posts, if they're having a basic day. It's just always like, look at my glamorous, fantastic,
It's
happy,
yes.
just everything I'm doing, my perfect family, my
It's just so bragging.
my perfect job,
Perfect
my
everything,
my
perfect,
career.
yeah.
Like, God forbid someone could see me in not the best light. Someone
the
could
best
see me
light, no.
not having the best day.
Yes.
And it's just not
No.
real. And
It's not real. Well, and it should be, but it's not. And it's just, there's so much bragging aspect to it, and it's just so fake. It's just so, I hate to say it, but the real
so fake.
people want the realness, and you're not going to find that on LinkedIn, unfortunately.
And then I guess I do have one more question about LinkedIn right now.
Oh, here
and
we go.
I think this might have been something that's come up for you in the past from what you've told me, co-host. Is running game on LinkedIn allowed? Or would you say it's not allowed to slide into someone's DMs on LinkedIn? Do you think it's off limits or is it fair game?
Great question, co-host. We have talked about this also off air. It's definitely doable, but
Why is it fair game to just sell on LinkedIn and shill whatever the fucking bullshit product you're selling?
Yes.
Try to scheme everyone you can, but why is it not fair game to run a little game and do a little dating?
Absolutely. Especially, I had, to be honest, and full disclosure to our audience here, I had a gorgeous girl from New York, all the way in New York, try to sell me some BS product that my company did not actually have any use for. And of course, I asked her if she would like to go have lunch sometime and talk about this.
You were trying to
business.
sell.
I was trying to sell.
You were trying to sell yourself.
And I was also trying to meet her for, a date. Maybe I didn't tell her that, but she was like, oh, no one's ever asked me to talk networking over lunch, which is very strange to hear that. And then she promptly unmatched me and unconnected with me on LinkedIn.
So she tried to sell you some unsolicited BS.
Yep.
And then the second you try to sell her something right back and be polite.
Yep.
That's not okay.
Very polite and respectful, and not okay. And she freaked out and unmatched me, unconnected with me on LinkedIn. And you know what? But I actually had another girl that came by my office, and she, we talked a little bit. So nothing came of it, but maybe I reach out to her again and ask her for lunch. Now that we've talked about this, maybe it's worth a shot. But why not? If they're selling you, then you can ask them out on a date.
Co-host, this leads into my next topic. And I know we've talked a lot about LinkedIn, so we're going to take a little break from LinkedIn. We're going to take a break from social media in general, just because we need to take a break.
Sure.
But what are your thoughts on random people that do Tai Chi in the parks?
Oh, Tai Chi. So what is Tai Chi, co-host? What is your understanding of this? Is it martial art?
Without giving it any research or thought, Tai Chi, in my opinion, is when an Asian person, a person of Asian descent, is in a park with grass and trees, and there's no one around them, and they're slowly moving around their hands in very slow motions and their feet slow motions, and they're moving very slowly, and I think that they're might be meditating while they're doing it.
Yes.
And I think that's what Tai Chi is.
That's what Tai Chi.
Meditation while doing slow movements.
Yes.
In a park.
And I think if you ask them, co-host, they would say that they are moving, and you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm moving the energy around. Now, I can't see what I'm doing, and I doubt that they can either, but they're moving this energy that they think that they can feel, so it may just be a ton of BS.
And have you ever seen a non-Asian doing Tai Chi in the park?
Oh, not really, no. I've seen a couple weird white people do it, but very rarely.
Yeah. It's not much diversity in Tai Chi, unfortunately.
And there's not. And we still don't quite know if it isn't where it originates and what it is.
Why isn't there diversity in Tai Chi?
Why? We need more diversity. This is a diverse show.
And then talk about diversity. What are your thoughts on
diversity?
Old Indian couples, and old meaning like usually the grandparents, that go on walks around neighborhoods on strolls.
Wow.
And the grandpa, the man, always has his hands behind his back.
Wow.
The old Indian couple.
Always just looking up at the sky with the hands behind his back.
What is it?
What does it mean?
Do we have any Indian listeners that can give us some insight on this? Why is this a thing?
What are they doing?
What are they looking at?
What are they looking at? What are they looking for?
And they always have a random baby somehow. And where is
they
the
do?
parent?
Always behind the hands behind the back, just calmly walking.
I wish my life was that simple, co-host.
Me too, co-host.
Don't you wish you had it figured out?
Yes. Yeah.
I think the only answer is next time you see an old Indian couple like that, you have to talk to them. I will do the same.
Yes, I will do the same. I'll say, sir, what is so good about your life?
We must seek the answers. Answers we must seek co-host, and then a recent topic that occurred in society: soccer, the World Cup. World Cup in soccer, and these are my next question stem from that topic. Co-host,
Okay.
co-host, the number one co-host. There is no other co-host.
No, there's
besides
not.
this co-host.
There may be some guest hosts though in the near future.
What are your thoughts on added time in soccer?
Oh, the added time.
The
arbitrary amount of minutes.
It's the strangest thing to me.
That
But
they just
I wanted to
add.
ask what your opinions were on it.
Well, soccer in general is a weird sport, different than American sports because
Yeah.
it counts up. It counts up. There's no count down.
It does count up. That's true too. I never thought of that.
It counts up, and there's no deadlines. It's very.
And it just keeps going.
It just keeps going. It's very European.
Someone could die on the field, but it keeps going.
Keep the clock continues to tick.
And everyone cheers no matter what in the stands, no matter what is happening in the game. The fans are like, oh,
Yes.
oh, someone's dead on the field, or the play could be canceled for 15 minutes straight, and they're just like,
Yep. They just continue to cheer.
We sometimes do wish we often wish we had video footage here, because I'm in the studio right now doing that Argentina snapping hands thing,
pumping. Yep.
and everyone in their little countries, and
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing that we don't really understand here in America.
But who comes up with added time, and how is it determined?
Who does it? It's the referees. I don't know who decides.
It's the strangest thing, I think, being an American and not watching much soccer. I find the concept of added time to be very confusing and
Very confusing. What doesn't make sense?
the players, how are they alerted to it? How do they even know when it's reaching the last few seconds of the added time? The fans, they just have to put up with whatever added time is added on. It's very confusing.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
It seems very sketchy. Very sketchy.
Yes.
If you have some influence and bet on the game somehow, who knows. But anyways, the concept of it doesn't make sense to me.
Good point. It's a good point, co-host.
Another thing I have to say about the World Cup, and I wanted to bring this up if we were going to be recording an episode during the World Cup, which we didn't, unfortunately. But now that it's still pretty close to when the World Cup happened, people that don't give a fuck about soccer ever, the second the World Cup starts, they are the biggest fans ever. Obsessed. Talk about it every day, posting about it every single second, have to brag about it to their friends and remind everyone how crazy fanatics they are.
Yes.
Well, it's
very
all of
pathetic.
a sudden,
it's
all of a
pathetic.
sudden they're the
I mean,
biggest
those are
fans
the
ever.
truest bandwagon. That's called a bandwagon fan, and I'm a little guilty of that, but I don't follow it that closely. I don't.
It's more actually
wake
what
up
I'm
early.
referring to more so. Let me clear myself here. Is the U.S. fans
Sure.
somehow they're the biggest fans of U.S. soccer you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Never have said a word about soccer up to that point, though.
Very lame. Very
Yeah.
lame. I went and watched the USA play that early morning game against England only because there was free mimosas and free drinks. It was a very special occasion. It might have been the last game they might have in the World Cup for 4 years, and it was. Or second to last game because then they played Iran. But who cares? You're right. Why do these bandwagon fans just come alive?
Do you like the mimosas?
I like them. Well, they're okay. Not a big fan.
Have you ever had a whiskey and a mimosa?
No. Have you?
Never.
Whiskey and orange juice?
What is a mimosa? Is it
I think
Prosecco or is it
yes,
champagne?
And
orange juice.
One of the two. I'm not sure.
I think mimosa is highly dependent on the quality of the orange juice, which is not talked about much.
It's not. Good
You
point.
get some very convenience store $1 carton orange juice in a mimosa. It's gonna be kind of trashy, but if you get some high quality, fresh squeezed orange juice, it's gonna make the experience a lot better.
Great points, co-host. Yes, the quality of the orange juice makes or breaks it.
It really is. And then there's a lot of these places that are trying to sell these bottomless mimosas that probably put shitty orange juice in.
Yeah.
And you don't have a say.
Sure.
So before you go to a place for brunch, do you think it's worth it to reach out about the quality of the orange juice in a mimosa?
I think so. I never thought to do it before, but now I will going forward.
Who would you contact? The general manager?
Yes.
The owner?
Go
or the
right
chef?
the chef probably, but go right to the top. But he might not know. It might be the chef or the waiters themselves.
Would you try to find him on LinkedIn?
On LinkedIn? Hit him up on on LinkedIn.
Gotta find him on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. One more thing I want to say about the USA team. These people are global homo enthusiasts. They love the globalization. They love being a part of a global community. And so it's not even like they care about American soccer. It's that American soccer is part of this global thing, which is cool when it comes to the World Cup. But otherwise, me personally, take a little bit more of a, I hate to say, patriotic, America. Well, I was going to say something else, but we want to focus on America before we focus on the global issues. And these people that are America hardcore, I'm telling you, they're all liberals. They're all hardcore believers and progressives. And it's not even about the soccer for them.
And I have a question. Did you happen to see the FIFA Uncovered documentary on Netflix?
Oh,
Co-host?
Not yet.
I don't want to give any spoilers on this show, but man, it was a very awakening experience.
Wow.
The scheming and politicking and shadiness that goes on behind the scenes in FIFA and soccer is fascinating to learn about. And it really changed a lot of my thoughts on just like how this is all formed, but it really opens your mind. Like clearly soccer and football, sorry if I offended anyone. It's is the most popular sport worldwide, and it's huge around the world in every country. But this documentary even hones in on more so like just how big it is.
Yes,
it's bigger than politics in many countries.
Of course,
it's bigger than businesses. It is the most important thing in many countries worldwide.
Literally, soccer. It's literally. And you know what? I got to watch that documentary. FIFA is very corrupt. It's absolute bullshit.
Very corrupt.
They're fixing matches. Yep. They're paying off people, officials. And I haven't even seen the documentary, and this is what I know. And so it really shouldn't be allowed to go on. But like you said, it's $1 billion industry, multi-billion.
Could possibly be trillions.
Wow.
And somewhere behind the scenes, you know who's laughing?
Who?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
But don't worry, Bill Gates is going to help out all the people because he has everyone. He's just everyone's best interest in mind.
Oh my God, what a guy!
You know, poor Bill.
Poor Bill.
My next question, co-host, and this ties in directly to the internet.
Uh-oh.
What are your thoughts on Wikipedia constantly begging everyone for $2?
Yeah, Jimmy Wales, Wikipedia. Hate Wikipedia.
You can't even read a Wikipedia article anymore because the entire top, when you get to the page, is covered with, please read this first.
Please read.
If everyone that's reading this donated $2.55, we could keep Wikipedia.
Yep. I hate it.
But guess what?
There's no...
I've never read any of that. I've never donated. And Wikipedia's still there.
Yep, they are.
So do you find it to be a scheme?
It's a huge scheme.
Yeah.
And Wikipedia, I don't believe half the shit that I read anymore on Wikipedia, so it's not even an accurate website.
Then how do they get ranked so highly in Google? Do you think they're scheming with Google?
For sure. And they've been part of Google for a while.
Yes.
And yeah, they don't need our money. It's bullshit. I agree, co-host. I wish there was a way to tell them.
What is the net worth of Jimmy Wales?
Oh, great question.
The founder of Wikipedia.
That's because he's always part of that message. He's always in there. Hi, I'm Jimmy, and I'm asking you for $2.
Yeah, we have to. I feel so bad for Jimmy.
Yeah, I feel so bad. Life. He's probably got a $40 million home.
What a tough life for this guy. He has to pay his staff. He has to keep the servers running. Oh, we should all just feel bad for Jimmy.
We should all feel bad. Yeah, feel bad for little Jimmy.
Little Jimmy it is. And then that leads into families who send holiday greetings cards.
Oh, the greeting cards.
The greeting card. You haven't talked to this guy, this person, your friend, this family in over a year or two. You know, there's no phone calls, there's no text, there's no emails. And then suddenly you receive a family greeting card from them. What are your thoughts? Do you find it to be, like, do you appreciate it? Do you find it to be obnoxious? Do you wish they would have just sent you, like, a happy holidays text? A phone call would be, or just like if you live in the same city as them, like make a fucking plan.
You know what?
Like,
for sure.
Hey, let's grab dinner sometime. Sure. Let's grab a drink. Hey, come over to our house. Like, if you, I just want before you give your answer, if I live in the same city as you and I haven't seen you in a while and you send me a fucking holiday greeting card and you have made 0 attempts to make a plan with us or reach out in any other capacity, fuck you.
Absolutely.
Just go fuck yourself. I don't want your fucking holiday greeting card.
Agreed. Especially, your point stands. If you live in the same city as someone, you got to put the effort in. You gotta make it. A phone call is much more valuable than a stupid card updating. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just it's so fucking inauthentic.
And let me give my real answer here.
Yeah.
You know, again, a lot of these people that have this weird innate urge to check in with people they barely talk to are very progressive liberal people. They have this weird idea that people are. It's also narcissism that me and you talk about a lot, where they feel that their egos are big and that people care about their lives, or they're not very self-aware to understand that nobody cares. So they want to check in with everyone and send this stupid greeting instead of just calling. It's very facetious.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, the narcissism is just loud and clear.
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
you know, you need. Why the fuck would I want your family picture plastered on my refrigerator or wherever? Like, I want to hang out with you.
Yeah, we want to hang
Let's
out.
get dinner. Let's come over. You know, I don't want to fucking see your picture. Like,
yeah, picture your dog. Yeah,
crazy,
get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Agreed, co-host. It's such a good point, and you know, I think you're. We're not getting into too much into our personal lives, depending on and whether or not we are or not. If someone has a significant other or they don't, that may affect the amount of volume of cards that one gets, and
it may.
So but either way, it's frustrating and definitely kind of strange.
It's very strange, and you never know how many pictures they're taking during these holiday greeting card photography sessions. Like, you could be literally. They could put the 500th photo that they took of that day on that card.
Yes.
Put the first one on there.
Put the first
I want to
one.
see your real emotions.
Yeah.
I
No
want to see what
filters.
you really. I want to see what you really looked like.
Yeah.
Show me your real self.
Yeah. Let's see the real you.
All right, listeners, we're gonna. This could be potentially the last one, just because we're in an awkward studio here today, and we're getting, the lighting in the air isn't the best, so we might wrap it up after this. I might be wrong. This potentially could be the last question. Co-host, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Who is the better football coach?
Who?
Jim or John Harbaugh?
Wow.
Has anyone ever asked that question to you before?
No one has.
And do you think it's asked enough?
No, definitely not enough.
And do you think it's a good question?
I think I do, because I think there's a clear answer.
It's a very good question. I would love to hear your answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let me go. What do you think? You go first, co-host.
You want me to, off the top of my head, I haven't given this any thought.
Okay.
The better football coach, I think, would have to be John Harbaugh.
Agreed.
Just because without giving it any thought or research, he's in the NFL. And I know Jim was before as well. Did John Harbaugh play in the NFL? I know Jim played in the NFL. He was a quarterback.
Yes. Did John play? I don't know. I guess
I don't know if John played.
Jim was on the Bears.
I just think that John has been an NFL coach for the last 10 plus years, and I think he's held the same position for that entire time, and I think he's highly respected, and I think it's I just think that's like, I know Jim has had a great career, but on first thought, that would be my guess.
And I agree.
Jim's had a great career as well.
Jim's had a great
John
career.
is a little more like.
And John won the Super. John did win the Super Bowl. Granted, he beat his brother Jim in the Super Bowl.
If you were older, who would you hire tomorrow? If both were available.
John's better. But John seems like a better leader. He seems like a better speaker. Jim Harbaugh seems like a weird dude.
Yeah.
He seems very particular, very stubborn.
He really does.
John seems much more personable, likable. Much more down to earth. There's something off about Jim. Maybe
something off about Jim.
Something's off about Jim.
I have a question. I actually have a follow-up question about Jim.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Jim Harbaugh not wearing that big hat? That big Michigan hat?
Nope, never seen him without a hat.
He's never not worn that big Michigan hat.
Yeah.
Ever. I'm not even kidding.
Is he bald?
He's not bald, actually. I think I've seen him at, like, he's got fine hair.
Okay, great,
like,
sure.
Decent hair, but
okay.
He's always wearing that oversized, flat brim top Michigan hat.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
And he's a weirdo. He's a weirdo because he has to wear the hat. That's what I mean.
But I think
it's like a habit.
He's clearly a narcissistic,
but yes,
major ego.
Ego.
Like, he's so in demand. That's what you. There's been rumors of him leaving Michigan, and it's like the media goes wild. The reports are like, oh, he's like, these NFL teams want him, or these college programs want him, and it's just like, it's gotta get to your head. You consider leaving a job, and like you see all these crazy things about people wanting you, and it's like, imagine that has to get to your head.
For sure,
And
for
he's
sure.
so cocky. Like,
He was so cocky.
he's getting paid $10 million in Michigan a year at least.
Yeah,
Like,
at least
he's a god there. He can't win a fucking bowl game.
he can't. But he did. But Michigan was good this year.
They were good. They can't win a bowl game.
Can't win a bowl
and
game.
He didn't win the last few years before that.
Yep. You're right.
Can't win a game. Harbaugh.
Can't win a game. Harbaugh.
Kind of
Just-
similar to. Not gonna say it. Not gonna say it
Not
because
gonna
one of our close pals. He's not. He hasn't been on the show yet. He will be. He doesn't like when I talk about this stuff.
Doesn't like it.
Goop.
Oh, the guy.
Goop.
Our friend Goop.
A friend, Pooj.
Pooj. Very well. That's an alias, but
Yeah.
you may hear his voice one day. Hopefully,
You'll see him
soon.
one day. He's sometimes known as the Yogi Man,
The Yogi Man is the
bearded man,
the bearded man, the bearded,
teacher,
teacher.
the bearded teacher. I think he'll be on one day.
He might be. He might very
And-
well might be.
Co-host, are we gonna wrap this up? We're almost at the 30-minute mark. Or would you like to keep going?
No, I think this is a good place for us to end it for today, and we'll be back soon with maybe some cool guest hosts.
We're gonna be back soon with some cool guest hosts, and we're actually gonna try to keep each episode to around the 30-minute mark going forward because we thought it was getting a bit long before. We'd like to really, really thank all of our listeners again. We're going to try to make this more entertaining and interesting as it goes along. We really appreciate you listening. Hopefully it puts a little chuckle on your face and helps you face the day a little more. Just know that everyone else you come across during the day is most likely thinking about themselves or not confident in their own way. And just be your own self and be strong. And,
Be strong.
Just don't let however you're feeling that day dictate how your day goes.
Yes.
Don't let your emotions take over. Like if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling super happy,
If you're feeling fear,
if you're feeling anxious, like whatever emotion you're feeling that day, just own it, just embrace it and
Feel it.
and appreciate it.
yeah. And that was actually the name of one of our episodes. Feel it and face it.
Feel it and face it. We're going to name all these episodes that we've done. We'd like to thank all our listeners again, no matter what country you come from. I really hope
Yes.
we have listeners in Mozambique,
Mumbai.
Mumbai especially.
Yeah, Mumbai and
Maybe
all the M cities.
yeah. We've done some weird
Mozambique.
Indian dances in the last songs, but we really appreciate our Indian listeners.
Yeah, we do. We love you, all the Indian listeners. We know that you are very far away, but we really do appreciate you.
And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.